Hey y'all, welcome to Ryan and Robert Rants. We're back at you with our ranked series, continuing the Conjuring Universe. And Robert, which installment we going to be doing today?
We are going to be doing The Conjuring 2. This is a sequel to, you guessed it, The Conjuring.
Conjuring Dos Part 2. We're finally making it through the Conjuring Universe. Like Robert has said in previous videos, we had a lot of stuff happen behind the scenes in our personal lives, but we are back at you again, revived, ready to record, and ready to continue down this interesting journey, to say the
Yes.
least. But just like we've done in our previous rank series, we're gonna try our best to keep it as condensed as possible. We're going to do a little plot synopsis, just a really quick one, some subjective, objective thoughts of what we thought worked and what didn't work. We'll do our out of 10 rating and final thoughts. And then, of course, the whole reason this series exists, Robert's brainchild, we will be ranking The Conjuring 2 in the grand scheme and see where it lands. But aside from that,
You.
let's go ahead and jump right into this. But before we do, just as we do in all our other videos, spoiler alert, we're going to spoil the heck out of this movie. So if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. If you plan on continuing, you have been warned. With that being said, would you like to kick off the plot summary, Robert?
Yes. And I think I managed to condense this a little bit more. So, hopefully to keep it in that like 5-minute range. We'll see.
We're learning.
But yeah,
We're trying. We're progressing.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so the movie begins in 1976. Paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, they return. They visit the infamous Amityville house where Ronald DeFeo Jr. murdered his entire family a year prior. So during a seance, Lorraine has a terrifying vision. She sees herself committing all these murders from Ronald's perspective, which this all culminates in an encounter with a demonic nun and a premonition of Ed's death. So, not exactly a good foreboding for the future of this film, right? Or it could be, it adds stakes towards the end of the film. But 3 years later in Enfield, England, there's an 11-year-old named Janet Hodgson. She begins to experience disturbing phenomena in her new home, or her home. I don't think it's new. She lives with her, struggling single mother. Her name's Peggy, and her siblings, which is another family with a lot of children, because there's nothing more terrifying than a family with a lot of children. But the siblings' name is Margaret, Johnny, and Billy. So 4 kids, all in this family. I think there was what, 4 or 5 in the previous one as well.
Five, I believe.
5, yeah, and they were all women, or all all little girls. That's oof. But so
In the
strange
70s.
occurrences, yeah. So strange occurrences begin to escalate, from disembodied voices to objects moving on their own. Typical haunting, um, evidence, right? Which begins terrifying the family. The Hodgsons eventually seek refuge with their neighbors after a chair slides across the room in front of police officers, because they ended up calling the police. The police came and inspected, and then even the police officers saw this strange phenomena occurring. Back in the U.S., Ed paints. He's a painter. He paints a demonic nun that he saw in a dream. This is the same entity that Lorraine encountered during her seance at the Amityville house. This nun terrorizes Lorraine at their home, confirming her vision of Ed's death impaled on a wooden spike. And it's pretty graphic if you actually watch it.
Yeah.
So if you're like if you see your significant other getting impaled by a spike, yeah, it's pretty graphic. But anyways, the Enfield haunting, it gains notoriety, drawing paranormal researchers like Maurice Grosse and skeptic and natural skeptic Anita Gregory. During a televised interview, Janet speaks in a raspy voice of an old man named Bill Wilkins, claiming that the house that they are living in is his. The family endures further attacks, including Billy being chased by a monstrous crooked man figure and Janet speaking in the demon's voice before collapsing. A priest asks the Warrens to investigate. Lorraine, still shaken by her vision, is hesitant, but Ed convinces her that this might be the premonition she's meant to prevent. Um, During this whole thing, Lorraine is actually kind of wanting to not necessarily retire, but not take on any more cases because she is fearful for Ed's safety. But anyways, in Enfield, they meet the Hodgsons and witness the escalating activity. Lorraine comforts Janet, who reveals the entity threatens her family if she doesn't cooperate. The Warrens, along with Maurice and the others, attempt to communicate with the spirit. Janet, who is possessed by Bill Wilkins, reacts violently to Ed's cross. Despite initial skepticism from Anita and even Ed, the haunting intensifies. Janet is physically attacked in her room, and Peggy is grabbed by Bill's ghostly form in the flooded basement. The Warrens bond with the children. Ed plays guitar and sings for them, so he's just a man of many talents in this one. Which you see some character growth. He's a painter. He's a plays an instrument. I think he was singing at the song at one point, right? I believe.
Yeah, he sings
So
throughout the whole
yeah, so a
film.
man of many artistic talents. Good for Ed. But yeah, he's basically offering the family, chaos and or comfort amongst all this chaos, right? Lorraine confides in Maurice, who reveals his personal motivation for believing in the paranormal, a desire to connect with his deceased daughter. So we kind of see another thing that we saw from the Annabelle movie prior, this one if we're watching them in order. So if you check out that video with Alfred Woodard's character. But anyways, the haunting reaches a terrifying climax when Janet disappears and reappears in the kitchen with a knife, throwing objects. Anita presents the video evidence suggesting Janet faked some incidents, leading Peggy to dismiss everyone. Because Peggy has seen everything with her own eyes and doesn't believe that her daughter's faking it. Janet later explains to her siblings that it would hurt their family if she didn't obey. So this particular incident, we do find out she was faking it because the entity would hurt the family, and she obviously is trying to protect her own family. Um, so on the train ride home, Ed realizes Bill's recorded messages, when played together, reveal "Help me, it won't let me go." So that's Bill also being the ghost of Bill is also technically being haunted, right? Lorraine has another vision, seeing Bill Wilkins as a tormented pawn taken by the demonic nun, the nun that's been plaguing everyone throughout this whole film. The Warrens realize the nun, Valak, is the true entity. I hope I pronounced that right.
You did.
Valak. Okay,
Valak.
Valak. Okay,
Yeah.
sweet. Anyways, Valak is the true entity, and they rush back to Enfield, deciphering Bill's riddle to understand they need to learn the demon's name to defeat it. Hence, you see this a lot of times in exorcism movies. You got to learn the demon's name in order to, unpossess the possessed. They find the Hodgsons locked. Hodgsons locked. Man, that's a weird word. That's a weird last name. I'm sorry.
You're doing good
But
though. You're doing
anyways,
good.
yeah, I'm trying. They find the Hodgsons locked out of their house. Lorraine recognizes a sharpened tree branch struck by lightning as the weapon that kills Ed in her vision. She frantically searches her Bible, finding Valak scrawled from her earlier vision. Inside, Ed, partially blinded, battles the crooked man before finding Janet at the shattered window, about to jump onto the dangerous branch. Ed barely catches her just in the nick of time. Um, and while he's also clinging onto a tearing curtain, Lorraine confronts Valak using the name to condemn it back to hell, saving Ed and Janet just in time. So we get a lot of imagery, I think, from Annabelle in this one, but we'll get into it. This one does it a lot better. um,
Yeah.
we'll get into it here in a bit. But the next morning, peace is restored. The Warrens return home, placing the Crooked Man toy in their museum. Lorraine plays "Can't Help Falling in Love with You," and the two share a dance, having once again faced pure evil and prevailed, and thus Ed not perishing in this film. Thank you. Trying to keep it short. Let's go.
Trying to do a PC principal clap.
Right.
But yeah,
Just a
no, that
golf
was
clap. Just a
dude, that was
golf clap.
great.
It's a golf clap.
Yeah, sure, sure. So that was a great plot summary, dude.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. So we've covered the summary slash synopsis. What worked for you with this movie?
For me, I mean, again, I think we touched upon it with the first one, right? I mean, uh Juan is back directing this one. I mean, you get all his signature style. I think he got, he took everything that he did right in the first one and kind of amped it up a little in this one. Just it didn't crank it all the way up. But again, same thing, right? The setting, the atmosphere, the tension, the jump scares. He does everything. He blends everything perfectly in this one, and he adds like a little. This one, I know, like in the first one, a lot of it takes place at night, but I feel like even this one, even though this one it's a little darker, and I think that's just added by the. He has such a way of creating these unique, like, characters, like the Annabelle doll. Despite whatever it is, it's still a creepy doll, right?
Yeah.
The Nun, absolutely terrifying to look at. Just like if you saw that, like in a you know shadowy doorway, you probably piss yourself.
Yeah.
I certainly would. I'll admit that. Um, but like the jigsaw puppet. He has a way of creating these like stand out like elements to that you always just reminisce when you think of the Conjuring or this movie or whatever. You think of like that specific like I,
The
doll
demon
character. You
from
know what I mean? Yeah,
Insidious.
exactly. Like that's what you. He has a way of just creating a certain. It's not, and it's all
Iconic character.
they're all like different in a
Yeah.
way. So I mean, again, everything that you would have liked from the first one, he does it in this one, and it still works, and you feel it that it still works.
Yeah. No, I am inclined to agree with you. This movie succeeds based on James Wan. Like
Hmm.
he directs this movie. I mean, I'm jumping a little ahead of myself, but this is right up there with the first one. Like
Yep.
it's consistent. It is different. There are some things that I don't like that, we'll cover in a second, but I think it's a really good follow-up. Like this is really good. So what worked for me? Was there anything else that worked for you or
Um.
before I jump into mine?
No, no, you go. By all means, go for it.
Yeah. So, what I really like the opening sequence. I love the opening
Mm.
sequence with Amityville. I knew before they even said Amityville. As soon as I saw those windows, I
Yep.
was like Amityville. But it's also teased at the end of the first one,
Yeah.
at the end of the first movie. So there's that. I also the introduction of the nun dude. The introduction of the nun, like you said it perfectly. Juan has this ability to just create these iconic characters that aren't even iconic to begin with. It's just, well, yeah. Like as soon as you see him, it's like, oh man, like it's so out there and it's so original that you're just like, oh wow. But yeah, I mean, the nun, like, they did what they did with it, and we'll get to that
Yeah,
point in
I
the
was
journey
gonna
when
say
we
like
get there. But like this
I was gonna
introduction is
wait.
creepy. Like
Yes.
this is like, yes, the cast including the children actors are great in this movie.
Oh
um
yeah.
the let's see, what else did I like? So there's things that I've seen this movie a lot. I saw this movie in theaters opening day, when I was still working there. It was I'd worked
Hmm.
later on in the day, but I was like, I'm gonna start my day right. I want to watch this first showing, and I was doing projection at the time, and for that first showing, we forgot to put the trailer pack on there, so we just went straight into the movie. So lights went down,
Nice.
straight into the movie, and I was like, okay, we're doing this.
No, I think
So
that's
I
a good
sat
thing.
there. Heck yeah, dude. I sat there. I went down a row. So I was like super close to the screen. And I was like, I want to be in this movie. So it was a great experience. So, like I said, I've seen this movie a lot. And I was noticing a lot more that I had never noticed before. One of it was Bill, the old man, sitting in the chair in the middle of the night when Billy gets up for something to drink as he's walking back. I never realized that they show him
Oh,
sitting there
wow.
in the
I think I
dark.
missed it too.
Yeah, it was one of those like blinking you miss. I was like, oh dang, I never noticed that. The atmosphere is definitely set for this. You hit that perfectly nail on the head. Um, the man screaming from the tent got me after Billy pushes the bus into it. I don't know why it hit me that time. The Probably my favorite scene in the whole movie, the living room TV scene with Janet, because the whole
Yes.
"my house" from Bill,
Yes.
like that, the first time I saw that dude, I jumped in the theater. I was like, ah. Okay, maybe not the best scene. I'll say the second best scene because there's one scene that does top that. The Valak cameos. So at 33:18, when Lorraine's sitting in the kitchen after she sees that Ed's painted the nun from the visions, it's on the wall with a heart that says "love" with a capital V, and then Alec on the wall with some wooden-looking letters. I never noticed that before. And I didn't also notice at 43:37 that Judy's making bracelets, and one of them does say Valak. On the bookshelf behind, there's those wooden letters, and it does spell out Valak. Now that one I did notice, but I never noticed her bracelet, and I never noticed the previous one. Um, Also, Ed, you were inspired to paint that freaking nun because he says it in the
Yeah.
movie. He's like, "Yeah, I just woke up on the stream and I was just inspired." The creepiest thing,
Yeah.
dude. I'm like,
I think Ed
yes,
needs someone to talk to.
dude, for real. And then at uh at 52 minutes into the movie, when the reporter asked Janet what to call her, in the mumbling you can hear Valak. So I didn't notice that
Yes.
either. I will say this, and I don't know, I'm pretty sure people have picked up on this, and if they haven't, hopefully I don't break the movie for you. But they borrow a lot from The Exorcist.
Oh yeah.
A lot for this one. Like the bed shaking, the tone, like the atmosphere itself. Like it feels like The Exorcist. Dude, the trailer when it showed the scene of Janet on the ceiling and then the crosses,
Yeah.
turning in the room, like that, just very Exorcist, including like even the contact lenses that she's wearing and stuff like that. Like I said, the dresser getting thrown against the door, the color grading, the creaking and sounds in the walls, the chair scene with the cops is funny. And the scene prior to that, after the dresser gets thrown with the door and they're just shown running out of the house, like funny moments. I don't know what I said. I don't know why I put that on there. Um. Oh. Oh yeah. No. 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 At 52 minutes, when the TV interview crew comes in when Janet gets taken over by Bill, very very much The Exorcist. The scene when I'm speaking to the person that's inside Reagan when they're trying to put her under and do like the little hypnotizing. Her
Yeah.
lips when she's talking to Lorraine, they're all cracked and dry, just like
Yeah.
Linda Blair's was, as she's getting more and more possessed. And then when she's on the ceiling, she does look a little like Linda Blair in that scene. So, like I said, they borrow a lot from The Exorcist. That's pretty much all I have for what worked. Now, for you, what didn't work?
So this one's a weird one for me. Oh, because I mean, like you, I have seen this movie, and I know we've talked about this. I don't know what you would call it, my relationship with this movie. I've seen this movie. I think this was like my sixth or seventh time,
I forgot
and
about this.
for the life of me, I could never remember this movie. And I'm not saying that as like because I remember every time I've watched it, I've enjoyed it, but I don't know what it is that I just cannot retain everything about this movie. Like, okay, obviously the mainstays, right? And I know, okay, this movie was about like the creepy nun. but like story beats, like I'm gonna be honest with you, I honestly forgot the little girl was in this movie. Like I don't know what it is. Like the character of Bill, completely forgot. Like I thought that I mean, I knew there was a girl, but I didn't know like all the other kids were, part of this family. Like I honestly just do not know what it is about this particular movie that I cannot retain. But after seeing it again, I'm definitely gonna remember it now, because I mean, I guess the seventh time or what was the charm for
Is
me.
the
I don't
charm.
know what it was. I don't know what it is. But like there's just bits and pieces. Like I don't know. Maybe there's just parts of, because I think when this came out, 2016,
This
something
came
like
out
that,
2016.
2015,
Yes,
2016. Yeah.
2016.
I don't remember, like I don't know what month. But anyways, it's just 'cause I remember seeing this in the theater. I know you were still working at the theater at the time
Yeah.
when I saw it. And I want to say I arrived because I was doing a double feature with a friend, and I don't, or something. She was already in the theater, and I arrived to this one, I think, like 10 minutes into the movie or something. And I think, honestly, I honestly remember showing up to the movie, and then I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was. And that's pretty much how the last thing I remember. Like, I remember the movie already in progress, and then that's it. That's literally my entire memory of that. I don't know what it was. It's just blacked out. I don't know.
Exhaustion.
Um,
Especially
maybe.
if it was 2016.
Yeah.
Exhaustion.
Yeah, probably. But honestly, like the only thing I can think of that probably didn't work is um this movie. I mean, like I said, if you everything you loved about the first one, you're gonna also like about this one. But also I think that's kind of how it doesn't like work in this movie's favor, because it is just kind of like, all right, we're just gonna almost go beat for beat, of the first one. So, while this is a of great follow-up, I don't think it quite hits that, level of the first one for me, at least. Because when you do a sequel to an amazing film, like, you have to elevate, right? And again, I guess they try to elevate the stakes with, the premonition of Ed, getting impaled by a stake. But if these movies are based off like real and paranormal investigators, like we know Ed didn't nothing happened to him. Like, if you're following any bit of I mean, I guess they can also deviate, right? So you never know.
Yeah.
But I just I don't know. Like, I felt like you have to elevate just a little bit, and I don't think this movie did in terms of the stakes. But again, I still thoroughly enjoyed this movie. Um, like there's not many faults. I can totally fine with it, because again, everything I loved about the first one, I loved about this one. It just did not get that elevation from me. Like, you go from Star Wars to Empire Strike Back, like there's that elevation, right? I mean,
Yeah.
depending on how you feel about any of those movies, the first Avenger, Winter Soldier, elevation, Batman Begins, Dark Knight. Like, it's just to make a Godfather Part 2,
Yeah.
you have to have that, if you want to make that superior sequel. That's why most people say the original is always the best, right? But yeah,
But can be debated.
but
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, we could debate it.
Yeah.
I will say,
But it's true though. What were you
um,
gonna say?
oh, just when we're bringing up like how the iconic, images, like James Wan is able to create this, these iconic characters, or however you want to call them, like in Annabelle and the Nun. But yet the follow-up movies to them are, like no one can do anything with them, right?
Yeah.
I think, no, the Nun is not next. Annabelle Creation is after this one.
Yes.
And then I think it's the Nun. But we'll get to. I'll talk more about that when we actually talk about the Nun.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So anything else that didn't work for you?
Uh, Not that I can think of off the top of my head. I mean, it's been like a couple of weeks, I think, since I've seen this movie
Yeah.
now. Um,
Same.
um, I mean, I do think. What was the dude that other guy's name? I just completely forgot his name.
Which
The
one? Maurice.
he was yeah, the guy from Rogue Nation.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I do think
Simon. I
his
forgot his last name. Is it
yeah
McCartney? Something like that.
something. Yeah, I think his character was a little
McBurney.
I don't want to say derivative of, like I said, Alfred
They don't
Woodard's
really
character
do
from
much with
Annabelle.
him.
No,
He sort of just he's there, he shows up, he
yeah,
has a
he's just
couple of moments, but he doesn't really get any closure in this movie.
nah, not at all. I think he's a little bit wasted. In this one, just I mean, I don't know if it's because maybe Juan was writing this movie as Annabelle came out, and then he was just like, they kind of did the same thing with Alfred Woodard's character in that movie, and he was just like, all right, you know what I mean? Like, okay.
Uh, God,
You know
stupid
what I mean? Like, so it's just
movie.
like,
Yes.
but I mean, yeah, other than, I mean, everyone
Well, at least he
else,
didn't kill himself at the end of this one.
yeah. I mean, look,
The
it,
demon needs a sacrifice. I'm gonna be with my daughter.
he's the one that gets impaled.
Yeah. Honestly, kind of a better movie, maybe.
Oh, absolutely.
Get the sacrifice, and
Yeah.
it sticks in tradition with the previous one. It's just sacrifice a character that didn't need to be sacrificed.
Yeah.
So, what didn't work for me? London Calling. How many times does this need to be the go-to for letting you know that we're going to England? Like aside from the dun 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 dun
Just
dun
the
dun.
typical, yeah, the
Yeah.
typical, like, yeah. It's like
Like
we get it. You don't have to play the music and show like the Parliament building. We know, we get
yeah,
it.
exactly. Um Janet waking up and talking in Bill's voice. I think that they should have just voiced over her voice with the old man's voice. I said old man, but it's Bill.
Yeah.
All she did was just make it deeper. Get out of here. Like it was just her talking in a deep voice, which I get it works. Which they do toy with a little bit in this one. Is she faking? Is it real? But the only way that that works is you can't show us Bill. You can't show us anything else. It's sort of like
Yeah.
the original, it's like The Exorcist, to where there is that point where the entire movie, and I still stand on this, that The Exorcist is not a horror movie. It's a psychological thriller, first and foremost, because it's toying with the family dynamic, human emotion, um, about crisis of faith. Like all of these things are front and center, and everything else, the possession, just happens to be happening at the same time, but it's sort of in the back seat. But yeah, like that's the only way, like, like I said, that that works in that movie is because she could be faking, but we don't know. But the only reason we do is because of what we're seeing. We're seeing, her head is spinning and stuff like that. So it's very much similar like this one where Janet's like doing the deep voice and stuff, but once we start actually seeing it happen, then it's like, okay, yeah, she's not faking. Especially when they do that scene where Ed's talking with her, but oh, he'll only come out if you turn your back and stuff like that. I mean, they couldn't set up a camera and like have it record and show what's going on, but yeah, other than that, that was one thing. This was gonna be kind of a hot take. The Crooked Man. I The frame rate looks so janky
It did.
when they show him that it takes you out of the scene. It took me out of the scene in the theater. It still takes me out of the scene. That and then when they try to use the slow mo at the same time with it's just a miss in my book. It should have all just been played out naturally. Because they got freaking Javier. What I can never pronounce his last name. From Botet, Botet, Javier Botet from Mama, and
Yeah, 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 yeah.
he's always working with Andy Machete.
Yeah.
But yeah, he played the Crooked Man. I'm like, just let him move naturally and stuff like that. But they're like, oh, when we change the frame rate, it looks creepier. I'm like, no, just leave it as is. Like that looks creepier more than anything. Um And like I said, with the frame rate, with the Crooked Man's on screen and Valak at the end of the movie, it looks bad, especially with the CGI. I'm just like just do it practically. Then again, this is 2016 CGI too, so it's still not the greatest. But I just feel like they relied a little too much on it. More practical, I think it would have been a lot more scarier. Just some little side notes that I had. The Ouija board. Girl is just asking to get possessed playing with the Ouija board. Don't play with Ouija boards, people. Um, at 4350, I never realized that you can see the nun walking in the background through the panels in the den. When Judy's making the bracelets,
Hmm.
I never noticed that you see the nun pass by. I never noticed that. And I did say this earlier that about the second best scene. The best scene, hands down, in the movie is the office scene. It's the best scene in the entire series so far. It sets up the right amount of dread, the atmosphere, Lorraine looking at how the Bible is torn up at the end of the scene and the look on her face. I like how at face value it can be taken as the demon spitting in the face of God in the Bible, but then the movie flips it and then it turns out to be the saving grace for the heroes in the end. I thought that was very clever writing on their
Yeah.
part, where she's like, I need my Bible, and then you told me your name, I asked you what is your name, and then one other thing I wrote when they're asking Janet when she's possessed and whatnot, he said, Bill, 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 Bill. Bill Nye the Science Guy. That's all that came to mind. In the theater, all the other times I've watched it, and this last time I watched it as well. Which we didn't preface at the beginning, but I watched this on HBO Max. What about you?
Yes, 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 yes.
Gotcha. Yeah, because they have all of them except one, but we will get to that in the near future. But yeah, I mean, that's all the notes that I have on that. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff that really worked for me. There's a lot of stuff that didn't, though. But overall, I still think it's a pretty decent movie. With having said that, what do you rank this movie out of 10?
So going back on my notes that I may or may not have taken. Um, so I know I have it over here. So I know so to recap, I gave the first Conjuring a 9 out of 10 because I really think that was a strong, like, you don't get to open a franchise. I don't think you can get much stronger than the Conjuring. The first one of that one. And again, I've said it like probably like two or three times already. Like everything you liked in the first one is done pretty much just as good in this second one. So if you like the first one, you'll most likely like the second one. I haven't heard too many people say, they liked the first one and hated this one. I mean, you have your varying degrees on which one someone may like a little more, a little less. I'm a little in the camp of I liked this one a little less, but it's not by a lot. So with that being said, I think I'm gonna give this one, if we're just gonna keep it as like, if we're gonna only gonna go on a 0.5 rating, I'm probably gonna say 8.5. I was struggling between an 8 and an 8.5, but given that the next movie in the series, you know, I think I'm gonna stick with an 8.5 for now. Because again, really like this movie. I had very little criticisms. I just think that there was no escalation to this as much as I think that there could or should have been. And there's not a huge detriment like one way or the other. I just, for me, if a sequel wants to be superior than an already an amazing first one, you gotta have an escalation of some kind and probably follow through with that. Like obviously I don't want to see Ed dying, and I'm not saying he has to die to be this, for the stakes to increase in this movie, but I don't know. You need something a little bit. I don't know. I mean, we'll talk about that one in the next one, right at the beginning of the movie. So, Yeah, so I'm gonna go 8.5 out of 10. I feel pretty strong with that one. How about you?
Yeah, so I couldn't find my notes because I can't remember what I gave The Conjuring. I want to say I gave The Conjuring an 8 or an 8.5. Um I don't think I gave it a 9. I'm pretty sure it was like an 8 or an
I think you
8.5.
said it. I think you gave it an 8.5. I think you
Yeah, cuz
initially
I
had it
said
at
it
an 8,
was, yeah, and then I
and
bumped it
then
up to an
yeah,
8.5. It's in the previous video,
yeah,
but
yeah,
but yeah, I mean, it's definitely up there as far as the first one goes. Now, as far as the second one, like I stated earlier, this is a good follow-up to the first movie. Way, way leagues better than Annabelle. Um, it does. I will say though, it does not have the same tension as the first movie does with the atmosphere. This one, it almost feels like a haunted house movie versus a
yeah.
possession movie. So with that being said, and again, I preface this is still a good movie, but I don't feel like it lives up as close to the first one. I'm actually gonna give this one. Having said that, I'm actually gonna change my score. I had it at a 7, but I think I'm actually gonna bump it up to a 7.5. Like I said, still a good movie, but I feel like there's a
Yeah.
lot that I don't know. I don't know if it's story wise or because visually there's some really great things in here, but I
Hmm.
feel like the story is sort of what hurts it. And like I
Yeah. I
said, the Crooked Man, I'm just like, cool
honestly, I think
concept,
this.
but it's like,
I want to say this sequel might be a victim of its predecessor, to be honest, because
yeah.
the predecessor set the bar way like high. Like I mean,
You know what
it's
it is?
hard.
It's the pacing.
I mean, most
I
probably,
think it
yeah,
might be the pacing because this one is very drawn out. This one does take
yeah,
its time, but the first one, when it takes its time with it, those scenes hit.
yeah,
Those scenes really hit. Like the clapping, like all of that, the possession scene itself, just introducing the characters. This one, it seems like they do it. Not really much happens. Like it's like, oh, we just hear stuff happening, but we don't really see it happen. It's very, very low stakes until they start introducing more of it. It's like they're peeling it back, but like really slowly. Like
yeah.
really, really slowly. So, like I said, not a bad thing. But I feel like the Nun sells this movie. The Nun is the saving grace in this movie. Because that scene, dude, I hands down, that office scene is just ooh. So yeah, I am at a 7.5 out of 10.
Very
So,
nice.
having said that, it is now tier list time. So let me update this for you. That way you can see. Perfect. Alright. Why is that not? There we go. Bam.
Boom.
Now Robert can see what he's doing on his
Yeah.
end. Alright. So, would you like the honors, Mr. Robert?
I can go first. Sure. Uh, which one is this? This one right here? I think it's that one right there. I don't know why I make these so small. Uh, yeah, it's that one for sure.
You like a
Uh,
challenge?
man. All right. So, obviously, not better than The Conjuring. Way better than Annabelle. So my dilemma is: do I want to put it as a high B or do I want to put it in as an A, like the back end of A? I think for now I'm gonna slot it here.
Okay.
It'd be like at the very end of A. It got that
Yeah.
like it got that teacher's pet professor 89.45, and it's just
It got that bump.
yeah, it got that bump because they had perfect attendance or something.
Yeah, you showed up to all the classes, so you get a
Yeah,
pass.
exactly.
Nice, nice. So I'm actually in the same boat. I don't know whether to go B, because like I said, it's still a good movie, but is it is it up there with The Conjuring?
Yeah.
So,
It's just kind of
especially
weird
because
because like there's only as like, what, nines or so. Like if there was more like A's or whatever. I don't know. Like it because Conjuring for me is like all the way at this end of the A tier, while Conjuring 2 is all the way like here. So it's like you can't show a gap, right? Of, in my opinion
yeah,
at least. Like I would say the Conjuring for me is borderline S almost. Like you, if people want to argue it's an S tier, I'm not gonna debate you. Um it's just I don't know. I kind of want to reserve S tier for me for like anytime we do these rankings for like the
the
top of the
perfect movie.
boom, like the Mount Everest of like, you know. So that's why I have it as an A
I,
tier.
I thought you were
But
about to go Mission Impossible there for a second. The Mount Everest of hacks.
right.
Catch our previous rank series, Mission Impossible. I think I'm actually gonna agree with you. I think I'm gonna go low A, just because having said that, we still have a couple more that we have to do as well.
Yeah.
And going based off of what you said about S tier, I just wanted to sort of chime in with that as well. S tier, like you said, it transcends. I think it transcends the actual franchise and stuff to where it's like, no, this is like a good movie in general. Like this is a good
Yeah.
standalone. This doesn't need to be included in a franchise, but it can be because it is, obviously. But it's just that good that it surpasses. It's like The Dark Knight. It's like, regardless of it being a Batman movie or a sequel, it's a good movie in
Yep.
general. So, like something like that, which I mean, eventually you might see an S tier on here. But spoiler alert, I can tell you right now, it ain't gonna be from the rest of these.
No.
But
No.
yeah, aside from that, I have nothing else to say on The Conjuring 2. What about you?
No, I think we did covered it pretty well.
Awesome. Well, with that being said, thank y'all so much for watching. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. I think we did really good on time. We did. We kept
Nice.
it under an hour, so high five
Woo.
on that. Again, thank y'all so much for watching. We really appreciate it. We really enjoy doing this rank series. So, like Robert says, check out the previous entries, check out the other ones that we have going on as well. And as always, Robert always says it. Get down in the comments. We want to hear from you. Where does Conjuring 2 rank for you? What was your favorite scene? Do you think it's better than Annabelle, or do you think Annabelle is just the superior film? You're wrong, but you're entitled to your opinion. Get down in the comments and let us know. Speaking of, Robert, would you like to let them know about the other projects we have going on and possibly tease what the next video is?
Yeah, so if you've watched this video, then please feel free to check out our videos on The Conjuring and Annabelle. I mean, if you feel Annabelle is the strongest in the series, I mean, you can let us know why you think so. But yes, the next one, stay tuned. It'll be Annabelle Creation. Um, See where we slot that in this rank series. But we also have our Superman and Mission Impossible rank series all done, all completed. Feel free to check those out. We also have a bunch of other trailer reactions and video reactions. I know we were a little away for a bit, but we are resuming. We have content hitting the channel now every day. Hopefully, nothing else happens and we can continue that. So,
Knock on
get
wood.
down it. Yeah, right. Knock on wood. Get down in the comments. Let us know. Let's have a conversation.
Awesome, Robert. Thank you as always. Much appreciated to you. And thank y'all so much for watching. See you next time.